Hello? All right, you can actually hear me right now. So there are more people than yesterday actually looking at the presentation. We had a round table yesterday, and there were like 6 guys listening, but it was fun. Um, I'm actually here today to tell you a little bit about how I explained to my mom what crypto is and how blockchain works. So I was working 12 hours per day or even more, and I just couldn't be at home. I couldn't, call my parents, what you're doing then? And I'm like, I'm working. We're working on Go Crypto. We're working in blockchain, in crypto, and all this stuff. And she was asking me, what is this? And I didn't have an answer. I could not explain it to her in a simple way. So one day I just sit down, it was a Sunday, and I created a presentation explaining what Go Crypto or what crypto in general can solve. So the first thing that it was is that when we started with the whole crypto scene, we said if the crypto was made just for as an investment tool, then fuck that. We will not go into this part of the game. It needs to be something deeper. It needs to solve some problems. And yeah, it actually did. I come from this country over here, Slovenia, and Slovenia was part of the Yugoslavia. The interesting part is that in 1992 we had 19,000% of inflation. And when it came to the inflation, we actually lost everything we had through the night. If you can imagine, you work day by day, and just suddenly you wake up and your money is worth nothing. You lose everything. So what happened is we had this Yugoslavian dinars, and they were worth nothing. And I still remember my parents carrying all that bags of money to actually buy something, but actually the money lost its value. The same thing is happening today in Venezuela or in Argentina, where a high inflation rate kicks off. So my parents over there, they need to actually exchange the local currency into any other currency that was more stable. And German marks were actually stable more than any other currency back then in Europe. So there were dealers on the streets actually exchanging you dinars into German marks, but they actually took 25% on a fee. It was extremely difficult to get any other currencies on the market to keep the value of your salary that you're getting per month. So what actually happened was that our inflation, when it actually hit, that was the biggest currency that we actually produced. It was 500 billion dinars, I think. My parents were very desperate. We were actually living pretty good, but at a certain point, we just have nothing. So I was explaining this story to my mom, and she was like, yeah, this happened, I remember. And then I showed her this picture, and I said, do you remember when the salary that you got in the beginning of the month was worth 20 eggs and 2 liters of milk in the end of the month? And she said, yeah, I remember that as well. Well, this thing happened again in Venezuela. You see, over here is a toilet paper and stack of money. This is how much a toilet paper costs in Venezuela right now. So you can ask yourself, is it maybe cheaper just to swipe your ass with money? The whole thing is actually pretty dramatic. I can also explain you why, because after something like this, you come to a point where you're going to see a war happening. So one of the options that we need to solve in crypto industry is how to convert local currency into a digital currency and give people a power to convert the local currency that is losing value into, let's say, a stable coin, Bitcoin, or whatever they want to convert the money to. That's number one thing. So I said to her, if you transform the local currency in crypto, you could keep the value of the currency on your phone, and nobody can take it from you. And you will not have to find these guys on the streets and get the German marks. And she said, oh, this is pretty amazing. Okay, tell me more. And then I said, well, the second thing was, she said to me, you know, we had so many friends in Germany, and they tried to send us money in Yugoslavia, the German marks, but we were waiting for them also for 10 days to get them into the country. The problem was that banks didn't operate like they did before, and because they didn't operate, we were getting money in the delayed time. So again, it was losing value, and they never gave you German marks, they gave you always the local currency. So I said to my mom, now imagine you can move crypto peer-to-peer anywhere in the world almost instantly. And you can get the money from anywhere in the world to your wallet with no intermediary. And she said, how is this possible? So I gave her an app. I gave her the Bitcoin.com wallet, and I said, look, I'm going to now send you money from this phone to this phone, and you're going to have it over here. So I sent her money, and she could not believe it, because in traditional times, like now in banks, you wait for transfer at least a day, or if you're in other countries, third world countries, also 3 to 5 days. And the fees are pretty enormous. So I said, this is the second thing that you always need to think about, why crypto is useful. I didn't talk about the transparency and that you can be anonymous and so on, because she would not understand that. And then the third thing was, all right, now imagine when we were in Yugoslavia, she had the money and in the banks, and she was, you know, going to the store buying stuff with that big stack of money, but the merchants didn't want to accept the money, because when they accepted the money already started to lose on value, and they had a huge stack of money, so somebody could rob them. So nobody was actually taking the local currency. You had to come with the German marks. Now, and then I explained her, listen, what I'm doing in my job every day, I'm convincing merchants in these high inflation markets, Argentina, Venezuela, Turkey, and so on, that they start accepting crypto. So you can pay with this money that I send you directly to them, and that they can decide, will they keep the crypto or exchange it into fiat? And then she said, well, now this is really something cool. And I said, well, is it simple? She said, yes. I said, it's so complicated you would not even imagine. So actually, if I would have to pitch it to the children, let's say 10 years old, I would say to them there are 3 things the crypto can solve right now in high inflation markets. The first thing is converting the local currency into digital currency instantly, and not losing the value of the money. The second thing is sending money peer-to-peer with low transactions and instantly to another person anywhere in the world. And then the third thing is, when the merchants start accepting crypto as a currency, you'll be able to pay with it, and you don't have to actually have anything else. No money, no cash, everything is in your phone, in your wallet. Today we're covering around 500 stores accepting crypto, and we're going to the markets helping these people to have an option. Yesterday I had a panel over here, and I was in a small fight. It was not a fight, but with a guy, and I explained him, if you walk in Venezuela down the streets, money is everywhere on the floor. Nobody cares about that money. Nobody's picking that money because it's useful. It's useless. Everybody's having Bitcoin on the phone. They're transferring Bitcoin as a value, peer-to-peer, and it's easier to get it. Maybe just for the final thought, I think we're complicating all these things around blockchain and crypto, and is it a store of value, or is it a currency, or what it is. It's something that if people want to have it, it's a useful product. If people don't want to have it, it's a stupid product. And I just hope that in the future, we will not complicate it so much, but we will make it simple to understand to everybody. And I really hope that the merchants will also, share this adoption with the world. So, thank you very much.